And now, live from the studios of WHUC, this is Real Talk, where we get you something to talk about.
Hello. Thank you for joining us on another edition of Real Talk. I'm your host, Dejanay Antoine, and today we have someone who is all about protection and safety, Chief Jenn Krump. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Starting off, can you tell us about where you're from and your educational background?
I'm a military brat, so I moved all over as a young child. Okay. And then I started in public safety when I was in college at Miami University in Ohio. I started out as a firefighter, actually. And I spent about 15 years as a firefighter, starting out in Ohio and then ended up out on the West Coast in the San Francisco Bay Area. In 2008, I decided, let's change things up and become a police officer. So I started my law enforcement career at the Oakland Police Department in California. I was laid off in 2010 when they did a force reduction in the city, and I chose that time. My spouse and I decided to move back to the South, and we ended up in Mississippi. And I was in Gulfport for about 11 years. Started out in patrol, did narcotics, did criminal investigations, was the training supervisor for the department, and promoted, kind of through the ranks there, and ended up as a patrol lieutenant, which I was over the shift, at night shift, usual patrol stuff. And then I got the opportunity to come up to UMC up here in Jackson and take a command staff position at that department. And then the opportunity came to come over to Hines as the Director of Public Safety, and I've been here since May of this year, so about 6 months now.
So you've been a little bit everywhere, basically.
I've been a little bit everywhere, yes.
So how was your experience, transforming from all the way to California to the South with law enforcement? Like, what was different from being in California to the South?
That's a great question. The training that I got in Oakland was, I'll put it against any training in the country in terms of law enforcement training. It's about 26 weeks, so about 6 months worth of training. When I came here to Mississippi, I was shocked to find out that it was less than 3 months worth of training to be a police officer. You actually have to have more training, you guys probably actually know this, to be a barber than you do to be a police officer in this state.
Yes.
And so, I'm thankful that I got the opportunity to, go through Oakland's Police Academy, learn what I learned. They did some excellent training with scenario-based training and really being able to apply the knowledge side of being a police officer to the tactical side of being a police officer.
Right.
And so one of the key things that kind of sticks out being in the South, though, is even when, the suspect isn't very pleased with me or the people that I'm dealing with aren't very pleased with me, they still call me ma'am, which is a interesting exchange sometimes. But we're evolving. I've been here about 13 years now, I guess. And we are making some strides to meet some of the national standards and expectations of our communities, and so I'm proud to be part of that.
So you've learned a lot on your journey. But
Absolutely.
what I need to ask is, when you were graced with the opportunity to become the Director of Public Safety for Hines Community College, how did that feel for you?
It's awesome. It's what I enjoy about Hines and this opportunity is I'm able to kind of put all of my training and experience into play and stretch my leadership wings a little bit. This is obviously the highest level of position that I've been in up to this point in my career. And so being able to take the department, which the last 5 or 6 years that Dr. Vasic's been here, they've been slowly transitioning into the one college concept. Okay. And so being able to take the different pieces on each campus and try to bring those in together, while that's very challenging at times, it's also very rewarding. And and for me, to be able to interact with the Hines community and the students and the faculty and staff. I really enjoy that, and that's part of. I never would have thought, 16 years ago at Oakland PD that I would go into college policing, but it's really rewarding, especially in a community like Hines, where we're able to serve an underserved community and be a positive influence. Hopefully that's my goal. Is I want my guys to be a positive interaction with the student population, and kind of break down some of those barriers that may exist.
Okay. So considering that you have years of experience with law enforcement and a lot of knowledge and a lot of training, what has been your toughest battle throughout your journey?
It's policing is a male-dominated profession, and so coming through and, like I said, I started out as a firefighter, which was, at times even harder, because that is perceived to be a more physical job. And so there are some limitations, or expectations, that females aren't capable of it. And we just have to adapt. We have to adapt how we do things. I may not be, 6 feet tall and able to, use brute force, but I kind of joke, if I need to, I'll talk you into a pair of handcuffs.
Yeah.
It's learning how to, talk your way out of a situation that has the potential to be violent. We tend to, as women, we tend to, use, I don't want to say use our heads a little bit more, but we tend to kind of think our way through it as opposed to just automatically going to,
a more cautious approach.
Mm-hmm. And so, having to kind of overcome some of those, perceptions or stereotypes that, we're not capable of it, and then lead some of those, alpha male individuals gets challenging, but, I think my work and the way I hold myself and carry myself has helped me.
You're doing your thing.
Right.
Well, we're having a great time talking to Chief Jenn Krump so far, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more information. Y'all stay tuned.
Real Talk will be right back after this.
When it comes to different topics around the Hines community, Real Talk is the answer.
The alumni who have graduated from the program.
A lot of that is them getting to know me.
This is the show that talks about lifestyle, culture, fashion, art, and having you in the know of what's going on across the Utica campus and the entire community college of Hines. Be sure to watch Real Talk exclusively on Hines' very own WHUC.
Greetings, wonderful students of Hines Community College, Utica campus. I'm Delisha Banks, a proud multimedia journalist and reporter here at WJTV 12 News. The Radio and Television Production Broadcasting Technology program at Hines in Utica has prepared me for such a time as this. It's why I'm able to stand here today and talk to you. So if you would like to be like me someday, reporting the news and being a voice for the voiceless, make the right decision and choose Hines in Utica and choose the Radio and Television Production and Broadcasting Technology program.
And now, Real Talk continues.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Jenn, and for those who are just now tuning in, we have Director of Public Safety for Hines Community College, Chief Jenn Krump. So we're kind of wrapping it up a little bit, but I still have a few more questions.
Awesome.
So what do you do to inform college students about safety and protecting themselves?
So that's one of the initiatives that I've, have been taken on since I got here in May, is to be more involved in the student organizations, student life. We've partnered with housing. You guys have seen me, down here on the Utica campus several times at events, and trying to get the rest of my leadership team also a little bit more involved. And so you're not just seeing us when you need the police, you're seeing us as part of the community and problem solving with you, seeing what the student population needs, what the faculty and staff need, from us. And so I've really tried to make myself approachable and, where you can find me, and if you can't find me, I'll probably come, find you. Reach out, and somebody from my team will, try to get involved in whatever you need us to be involved in. So.
Alrighty. Well, being the director of public safety for all 6 of Hines campuses, it has to be a very busy job. So how do you juggle all of your duties while maintaining a social life, and as well as your mental?
That is a huge challenge in law enforcement in general, regardless of your position. It's a job that you don't really get the chance to turn off. Right. And so I've been, thankful that, over the 30 years or so that I've been in public safety, that, I've maintained a healthy, work-life balance. At times it gets a little out of whack, but, I've tried to, make sure that, when I can, turn off the phones and turn off the email and just disconnect for a little while. Obviously I'm letting, the rest of my leadership team, hey, I'm going to take a day or two and I'll be out of town or whatever, but you have to do that in this line of work. And one of the things that I'm grateful for is the counselor, Miss Kelly White, over our counseling. She's actually, we're going to partner together with some officer wellness components in terms of, officer mental health, and making sure that we are taking care of ourselves and that we are taking, that I'm taking care of my employees. A lot of my employees work 2 full-time jobs, so trying for them to try and get them, where they are getting rest and they're not always on, because it can get exhausting at times.
You need your self-care.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to thank Chief Jenn Krump for spending some time and sharing some great knowledge with us. Remember to like us on Facebook at Radio and Television Production and subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up to date on all stories surrounding Hines Community College. You're watching Real Talk. Until next time.